Okay, what if you could have your very own personal AI assistant? And no, I don't mean just another chatbot. I'm talking about a true assistant, one that works for you 24/7, almost like a dedicated employee. Well, today we're going to dive into exactly that. Just think about the AI tools you're probably using every day. Things like ChatGPT or Gemini. I mean, they're incredibly powerful, right? But they all share one big limitation. They're totally passive. They just sit there, waiting in a browser tab for you to type something. And this really gets to the heart of the difference. On one side, you've got your standard chatbots. They're reactive. You ask, they answer, and then the conversation's over. They pretty much forget everything. But a real AI assistant, that's proactive. It's always on, it remembers what you told it to do, and it gets to work for you right there in the background. So let's really break this problem down. The core issue is that the whole interaction always starts with you. You have to open the chat, you have to type the prompt, you get the answer, and then you close the tab. The AI itself can't kick anything off on its own. So, what does that limitation actually mean in the real world? Well, it means your typical chatbot can't just go and check your calendar in the background. No way. It can't send an email on your behalf unless you're walking it through step by step right then and there. And it definitely can't do something like give you a weather update every morning at 7 a.m. automatically. You have to ask every single time. But what if we could change all that? Well, there's this open source project called OpenClaw, and it's built to be a totally different kind of assistant. And that's the solution we're diving in today. Now, the crucial thing to get here is that OpenClaw isn't just another chat tool. Not at all. It's an AI assistant that you install and you run yourself. The best way to think about it is like a persistent, always-on agent. Yeah, that AI employee we talked about, that you completely control, ready to automate stuff for you 24/7. So, OpenClaw is really built on three main pillars. First up, it's self-hosted. What does that mean? It means it runs on your own server, so you get total privacy and control. Second, it's a persistent assistant. It just works continuously in the background. No need to keep a browser tab open. And third, it uses a messaging interface. It lives inside apps you already use, like Telegram, so it's always right there in your pocket. Okay, so how do you get this thing up and running? The best way to think about it isn't some super complex technical project. Instead, picture it like you're giving your new AI employee a safe place to live and work, and then handing it the keys it needs to actually do its job. And look, security here is absolutely critical. You really don't want an AI having access to all your personal files on your main computer or your home network, right? That's why the recommended way to do this is with a virtual private server, or a VPS. It basically creates a separate, isolated home for your assistant up in the cloud, keeping all your personal data completely safe and sound. So, the whole setup really boils down to four main steps. First, you get that secure home we just talked about, a cloud VPS. Second, you install the OpenClaw agent itself. Third, you hook it up to a messaging app like Telegram. That's how you'll talk to it. And finally, the fun part, you give it access to the tools you want it to use, like your email or calendar, by providing the right API keys. All right, enough about the setup. Let's get to the really exciting part, seeing what this AI employee can actually do once it's all ready to go. Let's start with something super simple. You can just fire off a message like this one, asking it to tell you a joke every day at a specific time. Now, notice the key thing here. You're not asking for a joke right now. You're actually scheduling a recurring task for the future. And there you go. The assistant messages back to confirm it understood the request and it scheduled that job to run automatically every single day. This is that proactive behavior we've been talking about. And sure enough, right on schedule, the joke gets delivered. I know, it's a simple, kind of silly example, but it perfectly shows the core difference, right? The AI acted all on its own based on something you told it to do earlier with zero new input from you. Okay, but let's move beyond jokes. This is where it gets really powerful. Once you've given it access to, say, your Google account, you can give it a command just like this one. Tell it to send a complete email to a specific person with a specific subject line and body. And bam, just like that, the email is sent. The assistant went into your account, composed that message, and sent it for you. Just think about the possibilities here for a second. You could automate weekly reports, send follow-up emails to clients, or even just remember to send birthday messages, all without you lifting a finger. Okay, let's push this even one step further. Now we're asking it to handle a multi-step task that connects with another one of your tools, this time your calendar. We're telling it to schedule a meeting with a specific person, at a specific time, with a title, and even to create and pop in a Google Meet link. And again, the task gets done perfectly.
The assistant created the calendar event, sent the invite to the person, and added the Google Meet link. This is what true automation looks like. All of that handled by one simple message you sent from your phone.
So, what's the big takeaway here? What we're really seeing is a major shift away from just simple reactive chat and toward a world of proactive, real automation that's all powered by AI. And the really important thing to remember is that this isn't about replacing people, not at all. It's about creating what you might call a force multiplier. It's a tool that can take care of all those repetitive, boring tasks, manage information across all your different apps, and basically act as a personal assistant that never sleeps. And that frees you up to focus on the stuff that actually matters. The creative, strategic work that we humans are best at. Which really just leaves us with one final question to think about. Now that you've seen what's possible, now that you know you can have an AI employee working for you around the clock, what's the very first repetitive task in your life that you would want to automate forever?